Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurin Nazwa binti Rasedy, and in today's video, we will be presenting about Islamic consumer behavior. In this video, we will talk about 4 aspects of Islamic consumer behavior: the theory, the Islamic viewpoints, the problems, and the application. First, let's explore the theory of consumers' behavior.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Nurul Najihah, and today I want to explain what is consumer behavior and what step that consumer needs before they making a purchase decision. Alright, so consumer behavior is a study of how consumer make a purchase decision to satisfy their needs, wants and desire, and how their emotional, mental and behavior influence their purchase decision. There are 5 steps that consumer need to go through before making a purchase decision. Alright, so before we go to the first step, I will create a situation and we'll use Abu as our main character to make this topic easy to understand. So the situation is, we all know that Malaysia is always hot, and Abu, our main character, always feel thirsty when he goes to the class, especially in the afternoon. Okay, for the first step in decision making process, which is problem recognition, also known as need recognition. In this stage, consumer need to recognize what actually problem that they have. So based on the situation given before, the problem that Abu face is Abu always feel thirsty when he goes to the class, especially in the afternoon. So what Abu needs to solve their problem is they need to buy or purchase a bottle. So after consumer know what he need, we can go to the second stage of decision making, which is information search. Okay, for example, Abu, he know that they need a bottle. So after that, they will start to gather information or search for information about the bottle by using a Shopee or maybe TikTok, or maybe Abu will go visit the store to get more knowledge about the product that he needs, which is a bottle. Next, we go to the third stage of decision making, which is evaluation of the alternative. Okay, at this point, consumer have developed their own criteria about the product. So, for example, Abu, as a student, of course, he will choose a product that have a very high quality but in an affordable price, and maybe he will consider about the design for that bottle. Okay, in this stage also, Abu will choose the product that get the highest ranking for him. Okay, and then we can go to the fourth stage, which is purchase decision. Okay, after the consumer have gathered all the information and have choose what product that they think best for them, the customer will purchase or will make a purchase, whether by online transaction or maybe in the physical store. The last stage is post-purchase decision. After a few days or after a week, the consumer use the product that he or she buy, they will either feel satisfied or dissatisfied about that product. If the consumer feel happy and satisfied with the product, they will maybe go again to the store and purchase more or purchase again, and the sale for the product is increased. But if the consumer feel unhappy and dissatisfied with the product, the consumer will give a bad rating for the product and bad rating for the store, and it will impact the businesses or business owner.
Do you wonder how conventional and Islamic type of consumer behavior differs from one another? First, the Quran's teaching should be taken into account when developing Islamic consumer behavior. The Quran mentions 4 of the many possible dimensions, which are moderation, extravagance, waste, and negligence. As indicated in the study by Mohd, Islamic teachings support a moderate, well-balanced approach to consumption and expenditure. It is said that when acquiring and using wealth and money, people should exercise moderation. Next, Islamic consumer behavior also includes the avoidance of extravagance. According to the Quran, a rational consumer should refrain from imitating others and should be content with what God has given them through appropriate means. Other than that, Islam's ethical consumerism can be broken down into 7 primary categories, and one of them is honoring individual and societal maslahah. Maslahah is viewed as being crucial in this context of consumer behavior to ensure social and personal peace. The Islamic system encourages consumption harmony by considering other people's interests, attending to their needs, and upholding justice among them.
Next, the issues and challenges in Islamic consumer behavior. The main aspect of consumer behavior is the segmentation of marketing. There are 3 different sections that consumer can be grouped, which are product usage, demographics and psychological, and lifestyle segment. In the industry, the survey and research in marketing is important as it shows the customer actual want or demands. If examined from several angles, consumer behavior is important and the fundamental issues at hand is marketing. The marketing challenge is significant since it aids the business in comprehending and forecasting consumer needs or demand for certain items. In addition to familiarity, and brand preference. For instance, the technology like e-commerce allows the consumer in terms of location and details of the products that cannot be seen physically, also helping the consumer to share and make a recommendation about the product. Although there is possibility of problems such as no privacy or less privacy of the information of the customer interaction. Next, the halal industry also faces a big challenges from all over the world. The halal food experience might be seen as one of the industry changing agents. The requirement for F&B manufacturers to match increasing client demands. In fact, it has been determined that the promising areas for the halal food industry include retail concept and halal products e-commerce. The fragmentation of the halal food certification process and the disparate halal certification requirements across markets contribute to the complexity and issues in the halal food production and trade business. For instance, Indonesia mandates that all food imports, distributions, and sales inside the nation to be halal certified. Given the complexities of the halal food supply chain, the integrity of the entire supply chain is critical because each intermediary has its own suppliers and vendors, which will entail various logistical activities within and between those intermediaries. The potential danger of a cross-contamination is substantial if there are no halal control measures in place in the supply chain.
Wait. Would you like to know how Islamic consumer behavior is implemented in the real life?
Okay, let me explain. Basically, Islamic consumer, they have different levels of behavior when they are choosing some product and services. Like when I say Islamic banking, what will come to people's minds and what kinds of behavior that they will apply when they are choosing an Islamic bank. Maybe they will consider the bank reputation, the ethical organization, or the most crucial elements is religion. Like in our study, we compared Islamic consumer behavior between 3 countries. And we found that in Pakistan, the biggest factor that influenced them in select the bank is religion, beside friends, family, and bank image. And the second one is in Indonesia. People in Indonesia, they are prefer to look in product lifestyle and convenience as their satisfaction. And the last one is in our country, which is Malaysia. We found that when people in Malaysia are selecting the Islamic bank, they are looking for physical facilities, secure transaction, and the last one is whether it follow an Islamic law principles or not. So between these 3 countries, Pakistan, Indonesia, and Malaysia, we can see that they have different levels of behavior when they are choosing Islamic banking. So before I end, let me ask, as an Islamic consumer, what factors that will influence your mindset when you are choosing something? Think and be a wise Islamic consumer who are always prioritize the Islamic ideas of justice when you are choosing some product and services.
Lastly, in this paper, we review about 5 decision-making process, the theory of Islamic consumer behavior, which moderation is one of the recommendation from Al-Quran, the variety of issue and challenges that faced by business owner to make sure the product that they produce is halal, and the last one is the consumer behavior in Pakistan, Indonesia and Malaysia towards their banking system in their country.